All right, guys, I am in front of Secret Studios here in San Francisco, and I'm about to enter Dirty Plaid's headquarters. This is where we rehearse. This is where we create the new hits of the future. I'm Julio di Mama, and I'm the frontman of Dirty Plaid. And yeah, I'm gonna show you a little bit of what we do and introduce you to the band and show you a little bit of what we do and a little bit of our dream. And I hope you like it. So come with me, let's see what we find out inside. All right. Very cool place here. Can turn into a madhouse with all the noise and all the bands playing, but it's really cool. So we are here in number 168, and this is our place. Tell us your name, what's your gig here, what are you doing, and anything you want to say.
My name is Charlie. I am the drummer. I try to play the drums in the band. Sometimes I also sing. Keep the kit small and powerful and mighty. And my job is to keep the songs at a good pace so everybody can, fall in and keep it straight and steady.
What are who is your musical influence? Who are you trying to pay tribute to when you play?
I would say Ringo, John Bonham, mainly Ringo and John Bonham and Dave Grohl, I would say.
How long have you been playing drums?
Let's do the math, 40 years.
40?
40.
So you're old, dude.
I'm old, dude. I am old.
Or he started when he grew up.
I am old. No, I was 13 when I started.
Besides playing drums, what else do you do with your life?
I try to play the guitar. I try to play the piano. I'm a dad. I have a complete opposite gig in my professional life. Not a drummer.
Like a day job?
My day job, I'm a public official, I'm a government official, and I serve as a secretary on a personnel commission. So, complete opposite of what I do.
That sounds serious and not related to any of this.
Nothing.
Any of this nonsense.
None
Nice.
of this is my my frosting on the cake. The cake is what pays the bills. This is my fun.
Okay, so tell us about your gear here. What's going on? What do you have here?
So,
And why do you have this setting? I'm always curious about the drummers having this kind of like personality based on the little drums they put aside. Why don't you have like two bass drums and like all this stuff? Like what's the philosophy of this?
well, philosophy is transport and ease of space and maximizing the most amount of sounds without having to carry 15 drums. So really what you have is your basic. You'll notice going back to Ringo, Charlie Watts, even Bonham, it's your basic 4-piece kit. I have a Gretsch, it's a Gretsch Catalina. You'll notice the kick drum is a 20-inch, so it's deep. It has a lot of kick, no pun intended. It's to basically just drive the beat. I want to have a big bass drum that people can clap to and they can hear it all the way across the room.
So are you stuffing? I say the drummers always put in stuff in there, like a pillow or something.
I do not.
Why not?
There's no why. I think that if you tune the drum properly, John Bonham, for example, was known for playing a very open drum. If you'll notice, if I was to put a blanket in there, I would blanket the sound and I would get more of a thump. What I want with my drum, I want it to be an instrument. I want it to have its voice. So when I'm hitting that bass drum, projecting. It's almost like a orchestra instrument. So I want it to have its own personality.
All right.
The Gretsch drums, they're birch and they're maple. They're very nice drums. They have a nice full sound. They resonate really nicely. Floor tom, bass drum. The snare that I'm playing actually is a stainless steel snare.
Yeah.
It's not a Gretsch, it's a Yamaha. But I play a stainless steel because one, they're durable. B, Yamaha makes drums for recording. They're really nice drums. But I get stainless steel because if I'm playing live, it needs to project. And when you play maple or birch or wood, they're more softer, more of a
All
jazz.
right. That's
sound.
interesting. There's a science to it.
There's a science.
It's
to it.
interesting.
What's up? I am Chris Welch. I am the new bass player. And
So what are your musical influences? What do you like playing?
I'm kind of like one of those new metalheads. I really like that kind of music and stuff. But I'm also into some hardcore stuff. I like Turnstile, fucking great band.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are kind of like what I listen to.
Why do you choose bass to be your
Bass?
instrument?
It's just powerful. I really like it, especially when you're on stage and like when you start pumping it, it just fucking it fills the room.
Is there anyone else in your family who likes this type of music, or friends, or how do you get to this point of musical taste?
Just finding it out through myself. No, my dad's like a Jimi Hendrix kind of guy. He's really into that. So I actually learned guitar. He learned guitar, and through him I was kind of inspired to take up guitar. And then I kind of went to bass through high school, and then played in bands all through my 20s and such.
Right.
And here we are.
Cool. So tell us a little bit of your gear. What do you have? What's going on
yeah,
here?
definitely. So I got a Mexican-made Fender jazz bass.
Mexican. What's up with Mexican? Like I hear like mixed opinions. Mexican good.
I love the Mexican jazz basses. You could go American, but like you're just paying way too much for it.
Okay.
This sounds great. It does what I want. It has that crunch.
Okay.
And then also I got this hooked up to this pedal board over here. And
Yeah,
that's
this is cool. Tell us a bit about this.
Quad Cortex. So it's like a super new type of pedal that's been out on the market for a few years. Like everything's going digital, AI and such. So you could actually hook up your pedals that you have and you could mimic them onto this thing and have them there. So it's super useful, super fun. Under that I have a Mark Bass amp and a Mark Bass cabinet just to pump out sound.
It looks very portable. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because when you're gigging, you gotta pull your gear out, and like bass cabinets are notorious for being just giant. So
Yeah. Now I have to ask you this because you're a bass player, but tell us your stand on the pick. I love that you are actually using a pick to play bass. There's so much snobbery around it. So tell us what your stand is.
It's all about the music, right? So if I'm playing some funk thing,
We should. And I think we need like a couple of writing sessions.
If a pick needs it, if this music
Anyway.
needs a pick,
You'll go for it?
like I said,
I'll take it.
Respect
I got
to that,
more
man.
time than any of you guys.
Yeah.
So
All right, cool.
I'll let you
Show
say
some
when
some
you-
some bass, some nice cool line that you can do.
I got the time.
Go for it. Nice.
But in that part is a da 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 ba da da da.
Yeah, but then you can do like you can do odd time signature, not odd time signature, but polyrhythm.
Yep.
So it's a da 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 ba da 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 da. So it gets that kind of cool tool like.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
You're doing that, and I'm going.
Yeah.
Beatbox.
That's the standard tuning?
No, he dropped it.
Drop D.
I don't know, man. Hold on.
We can see fume coming out of your head, thinking
I
of
know. I'm trying to make
the
this
song structure.
make this easy, but also make it kind of interesting. I don't know. You want to do the solo after or before?
Makes no difference to me. Whatever.
I mean, okay. Yeah.
I'm just gonna do a short solo anyway.
Actually, yeah.
Eight
what if-
measures at the most. Most likely. Okay, probably not gonna do anything crazy on the solo.
Oh, that's gonna be a short one. Wow.
Probably, yeah. I mean, for now, like if I come up with stuff that's interesting, I might extend it eventually. But
Yeah.
for now, I'll probably just keep it to
I mean,
about
you're
8
gonna-
measures. You don't have to do that part. And then you just hold the F sharp. And it's just me.
Back to the verse, like you.
But no, then it's I do this myself.
And then it's a build.
Corporal.
But thank you. Thursday, 5:30.
Thursday, 5:30, of course.
Okay, gentlemen.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Good luck. Yeah, see you. Thank you, man.
See you, Charlie.
Thanks, guys.
What's going on with you, man? What's your name? Social
I
media?
am George Sudol, the guy who started Dirty Plaid, the dirtiest of all plaids.
What does that name mean to you? Of that
It
band?
was the name that is capturing the sounds of the 90s and the look of the 90s. So a dirty sound and plaid clothing.
Okay.
Plaid clothing was big in the 90s when grunge started. Grunge is dirty, plaid.
So is that your main musical influence, like grunge?
For this band, yeah, I would say I'm also influenced by some classic rock artists like The Doors and Led Zeppelin and some of the harder rock bands out there like Metallica. But I appreciate grunge music for its high energy and use of effects and sustained high energy melodies.
You have some punk going on too, I think, in your playing.
I think I do play tribute to bands like the Sex Pistols, who I love, and Fear, and just really just the Dead Kennedys, those kind of like hardcore bands of the 80s also I definitely appreciate.
So you've been trying to put together a band for a while now. When did Dirty Plaid start?
I started November of 2020.
Wow, and
about
that's
6 months into the pandemic, which is over now. But yeah, about 6 months in November. Started at the original Secret Studios.
how many lineups have you had already?
Well, let's see. We're on our
This is like the fifth or something, no?
We're on our fourth drummer, our fourth singer, and our second bass player.
What is the hardest part of putting together a band?
Oh my God. Finding musicians who are not only in the same similar skill level, but also with the same goals, the same musical goals.
Yeah.
That's very important. It's very frustrating if you don't have the same musical goals.
All right. All right. Well, hopefully this one is going to be the one. Tell us about your gear. What do you play? What's your guitar,
This is a
your
Gibson
pedal, your
SG.
amp?
It's my favorite guitar in the world. This was my second electric guitar. I had an Epiphone Les Paul that was too heavy and too clunky. I got this one shortly after I started the band, and oh man, it's incredible. Gibson SG. I think it's like 2013 with
Nice.
a cherry finish. Love it. It's versatile. You can play any kind of music with it, any style, any speed. It's incredible. And then I just use a Pod HD for effects to pipe in different effects on the fly. And I've got a Fender tubeless amp here that's for performances.
Sounds
It's out very well.
great. That amp, I love that amp.
Thank
How
you.
would you describe your preference for tone? Do you have any highlight around your tone, or?
I like crunch
Okay.
and fuzz. We do a lot of songs that speaks to. Those are probably my favorite ones that I use. Occasional echo effect, but mostly crunch and
Alright.
fuzz.
Can you give us some juice now?
Halftime, so it's like it's got some time to breathe, and you can hear like the lyrics. And
Are you okay with that Radar Love intro with the drums?
Is that the little like train?
Yeah, well, it's a highway, so I'm thinking a train.
Oh, I got it. So that's what. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
going hoo hoo, but yeah. Yeah.
Please don't.
I could. I got a mic.
Yeah. So
But yeah, no.
I'm just trying to like fast, slow, and kind of really.
Yeah. I hear what you're trying to do. I think if we just have to like hit it. I think if we hit that song like for an hour or so, we're gonna come up with something pretty good. We're gonna have to probably write it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
You know.
rechart it. We've
Yeah,
already
yeah.
started to, and I already actually have a full chart. I have
Oh, cool.
tabs of it.
He's so
Um,
good about it. He's so good about that.
No, it's important for memorizing a song.
Maybe I'll learn
First of
how to
all,
read
I
music.
think the ending we have is really good, and I think that idea that you threw in, where we hold the G,
Yeah.
already kind of does what you're saying, Chris.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
C, remember what we talked about. This is about digestibility in a way.
Right,
This
right.
is, yes, we're being creative and we're writing songs that are in our style, that are going to like this kind of music.
Right.
But we have to remember that the audience needs to be able to consume it and digest it easily. I as much as I also like complex stuff,
AKA.
I don't know if our audience is going to necessarily want it to be too complex.
No,
There's
that's
gonna
fair.
need to be, and I think what we have has a little bit of complexity, but not too much. Just keep that in mind.
So George is right, but maybe we can meet
In that
what
sense.
George is saying halfway.
Yeah.
Because I think that we can add a few parts that are like the sustaining the G, right? Holding
Yeah,
that.
like
little
that's
things
fine.
like that.
Yeah, that's
little
fine.
things like that kind of
We just
sprinkled around.
don't want to turn into like a Metallica where they do like a
Or a
symphony.
soundbite, yeah.
You know, we're not Metallica. That's not what we're doing. I mean, much as I love Metallica, that's not what we're doing.
No.
We're doing grunge, hard rock.
Yeah.
We want to have some complexity. We don't sound like everybody else, but if we over complexify
Sure.
it, we might not, we might lose some of the people. They may not be,
I honestly like in terms of like progression and everything. I think the song that you came up with.
the 21st century punk.
Yeah, has more complexity. It's just
Really?
yeah, like in terms of chord,
Okay.
like notes and like
Yeah.
the way I think your song is more complex. In terms of like the actual musical arrangement.
Right.
Whereas mine is a little bit more complex in terms of the rhythm. And that's
Yeah.
where it's kind of different. And like,
Yeah.
so I think, so what you're trying to say is that like the rhythm complexity needs to be pulled back for this style.
No, I was just saying, don't go too crazy on the ending. Because I think what we have,
Well-
I'm not saying change the parts. I'm just saying on this outro and this ending, I wouldn't necessarily go too crazy on making it too complex to the transition from the fast to the slow. I think that might be overthinking it and over complexifying.
I hear you.
Is all I meant. I didn't mean that what we're doing so far is overly complex.
I hear you. I think what you're talking about is breaking up. In your mind, what you wrote to you now is monotonous, so you want to give it a little.
Yes, exactly.
A little.
Yes,
Yeah,
no,
and we get
da-
that.
da-
That's
da-
what
just
we
keeping
come
in
We'll
mind-
just keep throwing ideas at you.
Yeah.
But not to George's point, and I get it. Like, we don't want to like outshine the song, where it's like there's not now a lot of like crazy shit going on. Where 'cause it is kind of like a dun 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 dun, you know, it's like in your face, which is the beauty of the song. But maybe we can break it up a little bit, like you said. You have the halftime, and then maybe some parts where we sustain. You could even do. I mean, but to your point, the root of that song is that. Is that driving?
Is
like,
it good?
Yeah,
Good,
is that
good,
dun,
good.
dun, yeah. That's the.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm loving it. You guys did a good job today.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, whatever.
I think on Thursday we're gonna hammer it for sure.
I mean,
So I am here with the band now. We just finished our last rehearsal before our first official gig, and we're getting ready. We just loaded the stuff on Charlie's car. So we'll see you Sunday in San Jose, S27 Brewery. We're gonna kick ass.
Fuck yeah, we are.
All right, guys.
About kicking ass.
All right.
Suicide.